Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We got ourselves the Kung Fu Cup Grand Final SERRAL down here in the bottom right side, representing Basilisk. And in the top left, we've got Storm Gaming's MAXPAX. It is a $1,400 weekly cup, one of the much more valuable weekly cups out there, run by the beautiful Chinese community, SC Boy, and the crew that run the WTL as well. Now, Storm MAXPAX has sent one of his very first probes across to block the hatchery, but SERRAL anticipates it and goes for a 14 hatchery. So this is essentially his 15 hatch, 15 pool build. The only difference here is that he's actually skipping the first extractor trick. He's going hatchery, then extractor trick, and then he's going to go for the overlord and then spawning pool. Yeah. Okay, wow, very cool to see here. So SERRAL kind of finds himself ahead. You know, normally going 14 hatchery, you're just down one drone, you're even lower on minerals than with a normal 15 hatch, 15 pool, which already sacrifices some minerals at the start of the game to get out your queens earlier. But I think this is something which is always good as a Zerg if they send the probe. Now, if MAXPAX, say, didn't scout and just played a very greedy opening himself, I think he would be ahead here. But he's, of course, gone for the scout. He's doing a very standard build. You can see he's pulled one worker off minerals, only 15 out of 16 onto gas so that he can get the Stargate up just a little bit quicker. Great probe harass. I gotta say, that's so annoying to deal with. SERRAL does let a few of his drones get bounced off of his mineral patches here, but he's counter-microing reasonably well. MAXPAX being so annoying with that probe. SERRAL not chasing him at all. I will always go and attack the probe because this micro is so hard to counteract. The way MAXPAX, all he needs to do is occupy the mineral patch for a few seconds. Your drone goes, oh, someone else is mining this, and it starts going to a different patch. And then, of course, he can do the same thing to a different mineral patch and force your drones to just get very desynced. Now, you can see the gas comes down relatively late with this build for SERRAL. That is the standard with a 15 hatch 15 pool or a 14 hatch 15 pool. And Overlord's coming forward for a little scout. With the Cybercore coming up, looks like SERRAL will just do the very normal conservative scouting where he leaves the Overlord at the front. So first of all, you're watching, you know, are they starting Warp Gate? And seeing that Cybercore not spinning, he knows it is indeed a Stargate opening, or at least most likely one. Zerglings over here on the right side coming in. Now, I really feel like this is such an exciting match because one of the big things you got to look for in their head-to-head is that MAXPAX plays very good multi-prong Zealot Stalker double upgrade ZvP. The problem is that SERRAL does cheeky plans. He anticipates MAXPAX strategy a large amount of the time, and he makes little adjustments like we already saw at the start with the 14 hatch to get ahead. This, though, is a nice way to throw a spanner in the works. He knows SERRAL does like to take a pretty quick third base with this 15 hatchery build. The Adept's going to come in. The drone's going to go up north there. And, ooh, he manages to get the drone. SERRAL stays just a second too long, loses the drone, and that's all for just 25 minerals. Gets the Zergling as well. He also forces SERRAL to take this very awkward third hatchery that's sticking out a fair way. And a Void Ray binder. Okay, MAXPAX has got some very special plans. Now, I really feel like MAXPAX sometimes plays too standard, too predictably in this matchup, and that SERRAL takes advantage of him for it. You know, a lot of people are like, wow, man, MAXPAX just can't stand up to SERRAL. And I would kind of agree results-wise. However, it's not because he's not as good as him in terms of like raw mechanics. Like, I don't look at it and go, oh wow, SERRAL can't, MAXPAX can't keep up with his micro or macro. It's usually SERRAL has a better strategic understanding of how to counter MAXPAX specifically. He anticipates MAXPAX moves, he counters them ahead of time. Essentially, he plays the strategy a little bit better than MAXPAX does. But I like that MAXPAX is mixing it up. The Void Ray is going to deny scouting. Now, normally a Void Ray is synonymous with Sky Toss builds or some other kind of tricky opening where you really want to deny those Overlord scouts. And you can see squeezing in a fast third behind it. Void Ray is also very good, of course, for just defending against Zerglings coming in as you don't have an energy limitation on your attacks. Adept's over on the right side now, just looking to force a lot of Zerglings out, threaten the Shade in. Oh, gets a Creep Tumor, gets in, gets out. Nicely done. There is an Oracle that came out behind this, and now a very quick Twilight. Okay, that's going to be a Glaive Adept opening, I think, for MAXPAX. It could be. We'll have to wait and see. Could still just be a very quick blink, but definitely a very early Twilight, especially with no gases on the natural. Adepts are here, Void Ray's coming in from the left as well. Now, SERRAL, he right now is just doing a very solid standard game. He does go for quite a quick lair at 4 minutes 30. That is uncharacteristically early for SERRAL. That's very unusual. The European style, the SERRAL style, is usually much more focused on trying to go very late lair and just get tons of drones. We'll have to see exactly what he's going for. And meanwhile, MAXPAX, I mean, he's just clearing up the map. He's done a pretty good job of hiding his intentions. He did recall these Adepts home by the looks of it, and they're going to shade out front to help defend these Zerglings. One Adept already in position, but oh, it wasn't quite in the choke point. Nonetheless, SERRAL doesn't want to commit to that. Oracle already grabbed 2 drones earlier. If we look at the units lost time, only 25 minerals. That was from canceling the pylon, whereas 8 Zerg units have gone down. So a clean opening right now here for MAXPAX. Oracle tag does go down there as well. Okay, this is going to be really scary for SERRAL. He doesn't realize what's going on. Guys, he doesn't have a Roach Horn. SERRAL's playing so greedy, he's dead. He's making +1 range. He's trying to play Hydraling Bane right now, I think. Yeah, Hydra started. I mean, maybe if he can get like 12, 15 Hydras together, but how are you going to do that against a 6-gate Adept? This is such a good build for MAXPAX. He's hidden it so well. SERRAL's droning still. SERRAL's got 5 more drones on the way. The Adepts, the Void Ray, the Oracle are all keeping him distracted. SERRAL has the impression of, I know what's going on, but he doesn't. He doesn't actually know what's going on. A single Adept shows itself to clean up his Zergling. He builds 12 more Zerglings thinking, oh, maybe there's a few Adepts coming to harass. Little does he realize MAXPAX has got 12 Adepts with Glaives, and he's absolutely going for broke right now. These Adepts are going to dive in. It's a 6-minute, 12 Adept timing. He's got a great economy behind it as well, does MAXPAX. So he's not all in by any means on this. And those Adepts going to shade on in. Start taking out those Queens. Nice micro on the Queens for SERRAL. Man, they don't call him the GOAT for no reason. The Oracle and the Void Ray go in and go out, though. They're going to have to come back in a moment if they want to help out. But, man, the Lings get slaughtered by Glaive Adepts. The wall has been sealed. But for how long? Now, surprisingly, there's no Warpins at home to reinforce this, which I find absolutely shocking. I think MAXPAX may have been a little supply blocked, because he had 6 gateways, and to only make 12 Adepts off 6 gateways is very unusual, super uncharacteristic. The Adepts are going in there, the Hydra's starting to pop out. MAXPAX definitely wants a little bit more damage. He's denying mining on the 3rd base, but he's not really doing that much else. Finally, the Prism arrives, more Adepts do start warping in, but as I said, there was a bit of a falter in the midst of this pressure. These Adepts going to pull south right now. More Adepts are in the 3rd base. There's only really 1 base mining right now. It's the natural. You need to clean this up right now as SERRAL because you're not mining any resources. Hydra's starting to get taken out by Adepts as well. Drones are falling. Adepts in the 3rd are going ham. They're going to shade in towards the 4th. There's no drones actually active on that base. Hydra's finally going to clean these Adepts up. But look at that. They pull back. And all you need is 2 Adepts in a mineral line to cause absolutely massive problems for the Zerg. 29 workers have gone down, and behind it, a second Robo, a Robo Bay, more gateways, and Blink are on the way. So MAXPAX is going to be ready to defend any counterattack with Stalkers, go into Colossus, which will counter the Hydras so hard. And the lack of a Roach Horn for SERRAL on a small map like this, incredibly greedy, and it gets punished super hard. MAXPAX says, you naughty boy, man. I can't believe you would dare skip a Roach Horn against me. But that was the whole aim of the Void Ray. So I think part of the whole play here is because he went Void Ray and denied scouting, there's a good chance it's a 2 Stargate Phoenix play or a Carrier or a Tempest Rush. And any of those plays gets countered by the fast Hydras pretty well. So I think SERRAL was saying, okay, as long as I scout well with my Zerglings, I should get wind if it's like a big Adept attack, and we're just going to try to rush Hydras, and that kind of counters a lot of what you're going to do. I was talking about SERRAL often winning in the planning stages and the kind of builds he picks and how to counter MAXPAX. Well, looks like MAXPAX did actually manage to win that mental game, even after, at the very start, SERRAL got in a good position. Adepts picking off a couple of drones there, keeping active. SERRAL's back up to 64 workers, which is impressive, but he's not going to have time to breathe, man. Adept Stalker Immortal coming across the map. More Adepts coming in. Pulls those back on the 3rd. These ones go into the main, and he is going ham. SERRAL sees the army arrive on the front. He knows he's got nothing to defend that. He was on 11 Hydras. And he's like, yeah, we're dead. GG. All right, going into game 2. SERRAL's going 14 Hatchery again. And I told you, hey, if MAXPAX doesn't scout and just goes gas first, he should get ahead. Guess what? MAXPAX ain't scouting this game. Well, he's not going gas first, though, so maybe he is. Okay, it's just a conservative gate scout. No. Changing his mind. Maybe he was just looking for a drone coming in. He's going to chrono boost, take a gas. Interesting. Now, I always felt gas first was a little smoother if you're not going to scout, but maybe MAXPAX is of a different way of thinking. The great thing is, with a guy like MAXPAX, who's a bit of a trendsetter, he does things to his own understanding always. A lot of other players, they'll hear another player say, oh, this is the best way to do this, and they'll be like, okay, that must be right, and they'll just do it. They won't really think as critically for themselves and go and do the research. MAXPAX is a guy where if I feel like he almost doesn't even know that gas first is like the better thing to do. I don't know. I know MAXPAX does watch streams and videos, but I really feel like he's somehow got this way of being completely immune to any sort of groupthink, any hive minding. Sometimes players all get stuck in a bit of a hive mind, even pro players, of like, you have to play this way, this is the only thing you can do. But MAXPAX seems to be very good at just playing his own style, so good on him. And, I mean, it's not too bad being one drone short from a 15 hatch for SERRAL. Definitely, though, I would say MAXPAX build order is probably a little better. Chat says, I feel like every time I watch you cast a Clem game, it's a game where he lost. Well, you got to watch more Clem TVZs, I guess. You know, we cast a lot of the top level matches on this channel from like the top 4, the top 8 of tournaments. If I cast all the group stage matches, you'd see him just ripping through all of the players, no matter who they are, and do really well. And he did beat like Maru at Gamers 8, was a really big success for him, making it to the semifinals. So I would not be hating on him by any means. I mean, there's periods as well. Like recently I cast a whole bunch of games of Maru getting bopped in a row. But like I didn't get a chance to cast any of there was a different tournament where he actually destroyed, that wasn't too long ago, which I kind of missed just because there were so many other good games going on. And it was played kind of just before the patch came out. And I'm kind of like, man, did I just cast like a bunch of Maru losing in a row? It's like, it's not really representative of his overall stats. It's just, hey, sometimes you have a streak in those big matches where 2 big top-level players are playing. You lose a few of those in a row, and it can give you that perception. But if you guys really want to follow your favorite players and check out their stats, always just Google Aligulac is the stats website. If you don't know how to spell that, don't worry. Just StarCraft stats. Try to type it out. Aligulac. It's such a weird word, but it's such a great website and has all of their head-to-head stats, match histories, ratings, and it's a very, very nice website to kind of see what's really going on other than just 1 or 2 big matches that take up our eyeballs because they're exciting to watch. Void Ray and Oracle coming in for MAXPAX once again. Dude, Creator is a trendsetter. Creator's the guy who basically popularized the Void Ray opening, and it does really make it hard for the Zerg to guess what you're up to. The thing is, doing it 2 games in a row, I do think SERRAL, especially since his third wasn't blocked this game, he's going to be pretty organized in terms of trying to defend that. Now, if this Void Ray can catch that Overlord, that'd be great. I think SERRAL should pull his Queens forward and try to protect it. Well, looks like that Overlord's barely going to escape. SERRAL, by the way, does see the 3rd base on the way on the left. Good defense by SERRAL so far. Twilight Council Forge on the way after the 3rd and 4th gas. Very standard play here from Maximus. And the Void Ray goes in and starts fighting that Queen. Looks like the other Queen did walk away. The Oracle flies in, turns on its laser beam. It's already taken a fair bit of damage, has that Oracle. And Void Ray and the Oracle take out a Queen, but they're both heavily damaged by it, so not the greatest. The Oracle does have 3 kills, so it looks like it maybe got a drone and a Zergling as well. Units lost tab. I mean, when you haven't lost anything, they're losing resources. That's generally good as a Protoss player. MAXPAX is gonna be probing towards that 3rd, going up to 6 gateways as well. I think Blink is usually what he goes for almost every game, and I know he loves Double Forge, but as I say that, okay, I think MAXPAX is, for a long time, I felt like every time he played SERRAL, he was kind of predictable, and he did the same thing every game. And just tried to play standard, and SERRAL would get all these little advantages, and it would never be a fair mid to late game. But I feel like MAXPAX going charge here is a bit of a meta play, and I like that he's doing that. I don't think you want to just be predictable. SERRAL will take advantage of you. Nothing defending that 3rd right now. Luckily, SERRAL doesn't poke in to take advantage. It's because these Adepts are out here on the left side of the map. MAXPAX hopefully cancels that shade. Notice SERRAL's trying to hide the Zerglings just outside of vision. So he's like, oh yeah, there's nothing here to defend. And then at the last second, as you finish your shade, the Zerglings reveal themselves. So he baits you into committing. Cleans up the Adepts on the other side. The Zergling gets cleaned up there by the Stalkers though. Warp Prisms here. Templar Archives as well. 6-gate charge Archon pressure. I think he's going to take a 4th base as he pushes out. Now remember, there is no gold base actually on this map, is there? This map, okay, so this has 4 gold minerals, so there's a half gold base. I don't think there's any purple gas bases either. SERRAL trying to get some pickoffs, not quite able to do it. SERRAL's trying to go Hydras again. He built a Roach Warren this time for safety, but he hasn't used it. He's trying to play Hydras. Okay, what is this style, SERRAL? I mean, Roaches would be better for defending Zealot Archon, but there is a turning point where if you get enough Hydralisks, their damage output is so crazy you will gun down the Zealot Archon before they can really do anything to you. It's a high-risk, high-reward style. He sees the Prism coming forward, the Void Ray and the Oracle behind it. I think he knows what he's up against. He needs all his Hydras together. He may need to pull all of his Queens together as well. He's going to send a few Zerglings across the map, trying to get those in to do some damage. Everything else gathering at home. Serral does not want to lose this 4th base. The Robo Bay is already on the way behind this. MAXPAX going after that. Zealots coming in the right side. They're going to only get a drone, but more importantly, they force the army out of position. And this is not great for Serral. Losing that 4th base allows MAXPAX to just pull back if he wants to. Queen's coming forward. Ooh, okay, nice tag on the Oracle. It does stay alive for it now. I like that he's trying to clear up this creep as well. MAXPAX clearing up Serral's map vision very nicely. Moves out to take a 4th, though, and those Zerglings deny it. Second Robo Bay is on the way. If he can get a 4th up, MAXPAX is running away with this game, but he throws away the Oracle there. He's still trying to pressure, and remember what I said about critical mass? I think the Hydras are at that point now. They have the Groove Spines, the +1 range upgrade. Their Muscular Augments is on the way. And MAXPAX, he's still trying to push in here. He needs to get out of there. So he drops a few Zealots. They don't trade very well. And Units Lost tab, you can see it's actually quite even. And there still could be a very scary Mass Hydra Ling time. And Colossus are building. Dude, is Serral just going all in? Serral's not even rebuilding a 4th. Serral's going to go for a Hydra Zergling all in? What the hell? Dude, if these Colossus get out, I think MAXPAX crushes. MAXPAX, yeah, look at this. He's even Zealot dropping right now. Oh, MAXPAX is so far ahead right now. This is great. Like, compositionally, his army counters Serral super duper hard. This is a great setup to be in. But don't get jumped on. He's got to be careful. He might be being too aggressive. His new 4th base is going to get taken out as well. Serral there doesn't have melee upgrade, but does he need it? Surrounds the Zealots. The cannon and the Zealots will clean up quite a few Zerglings. But Serral loses his new 4th. And MAXPAX, okay, so they both lose their new 4th bases, but I think 3 base versus 3 base, when you're building Colossus Archon, you're pretty happy with that. The Hydras are trying to chase it down. Hydras are pretty quick, guys. 4.13 movement speed, slightly faster than the Archons. Whoa, whoa, MAXPAX stumbling into a battle there. Okay, the Colossus are here. Ooh, okay, you don't want to throw away these Archons. Serral focuses 2 of them down. Does get a bunch of Hydras, but it's all about building your army size here. There's no reason for MAXPAX to fight until he has more numbers together. For him, it's all about get all the units together. You get out 4 Colossus, more Archons, more Zealots. You should be unkillable. This should hard counter the army of Serral. And Serral's only just started his Infestation Pit, which means he's minutes away from getting Vipers. Oh, but Serral catches 2 High Templar. Serral is in desperation mode. He's on 64 drones, massing Hydraling, and he knows the only way to win is to attack both sides at once. MAXPAX not splitting his army quite as well as you'd like to see. There we go. Now he's got 2 Colossus on either side. Those Colossus are going to do very well versus the Hydras. Serral trying to use his micro as best he can. Zealots in the back base, though. MAXPAX counterattacking. Oh, God. MAXPAX getting surrounded down here. His left army is going for the counterattack, but he's actually going to lose his Colossus in the open. A mistake for MAXPAX. And Serral out positioning him. Zealots getting in the back doing damage. That base going down as well. Recall should be available right now. Where is that recall guy? Oh, he just used it on the Colossus, didn't he? So he can't bring his army home. Not only does he lose the Colossus, but he tries to recall, fails, and now his Colossus Robos are getting jumped on. A huge misstep from MAXPAX. He did not expect Serral to be this all in. He thought Serral has to drone. Serral's probably going Hive. Serral's probably going Broodlords. He didn't realize Serral's all in on 64 drones, and he's doing massive damage with it. Serral trading so well. Oh, this is painful for MAXPAX. He was in a game-winning position right now, and he could have been up 2-0. Now he finds himself, well, looks like at the precipice of defeat. Look, the Hydras are even coming on the rally for a surround. You're kidding me. Serral surrounding the Colossus Archon with Hydras. Beautiful play by Serral. Pulling a rabbit out of the hat. Pulling a guinea pig out of the hat, we should say. Oh my lord. Recently we saw some YouTube comments saying Serral's face on the thumbnails always looks like his guinea pig just died. Well, in this case, I think he just pulled the guinea pig that we thought had died out of a hat, said, oh my god, Squiggles, you're still alive? And we are seeing him absolutely ecstatic because he is resurrecting himself from a terrible, terrible position. Denying the 4th base multiple times and then catching him out with the movement. You know, Serral really had one thing going for him. He had a good-sized army at that moment. It was going to run out of time. It was going to get worse over time, and it already was bad. But he split it up. He fought in 2 or 3 places. The Zealot Archon's still kind of scary, though. Ah, there's no Colossus, though. The Hydras, especially dropping creep, they can micro so smoothly in and out. They've got the +2 attack as well. And the Zealot Archon, really, you need the Colossus to fight the Hydras, to start a step backwards, and as the Hydras try to jump on the Colossus, that's when the Zealot Archon is meant to run forwards. That's the way this army works, is, you know, your Colossus can pick at the Hydras from out of their range. They've got a 3 range advantage there, but the Hydras massively outrange the Zealot Archon, so you kind of need to force those Hydras to engage in, and that's when the Zealot Archon can be effective. You see the Colossus can wear them down, but they're picking off probes right now. Single Zealot runs in, starts to do damage on the other side. Great micro by SERRAL. This is fantastic. Hive's on the way as well. He hasn't droned. Remember, he lost a few workers. He hasn't even rebuilt his 4th. This shows how all-in SERRAL was. And MAXPAX could still get back in this game, as crazy as that sounds. They're both only on 3 bases, guys. If MAXPAX can just get a 4th base up, he should not be probing. It actually doesn't make sense for MAXPAX to probe right now, I don't think, because his main and natural are both getting close to mined out. But he does stop. He just builds 2 probes and goes back to building army, which I think is the right call. The problem is he's so low on map vision. Dude, if he kept an Oracle alive just to see where things were on the map, it'd be such a difference maker in this sort of game. He's trying to attack because he has no information, but seeing no hatchery there, and when he sees no hatchery on the right, this should make up MAXPAX's decision-making. Go home, take a 4th, and chill. And he's going for Storm. Yep, he realizes Storm for Hydras, feedback for Vipers is the way to go. He cancels the 4th, which is great. Zealot blocks with a Warp in to stop these Zerglings, and now you just need to take a 4th, get High Templar, and I think you're actually back in this game as MAXPAX. As crazy as that sounds, if you can feedback Vipers before they can take out the Colossus with Abduct, you got Colossus, you've got plenty of Archons. There's a Roach transition, which kind of makes sense because Colossus aren't that good versus Roaches. Roaches are going to be kind of tanky, but I mean, you've got Archons, you've got Storm, Colossus, all this stuff is going to add up a lot. High Templar warping in. MAXPAX has been scared off of 4th base multiple times. He's finally trying to retake it on the right. I actually would love to see him just take the top left, personally. He also hasn't rebuilt his natural wall, which is, I would argue, a pretty big problem. SERRAL going for a drop? SERRAL's going to go for a Roach drop over there. MAXPAX sees a few Roaches. I think he thought it was a whole army, but it's not. It's a whole ass army. Nope, just 2 Overlords now. The Roaches run back. Mass Roach Hydra Viper with +2 on 59 drones and 3 bases. SERRAL does not have a lot of follow through, but as MAXPAX, it's all about turtling and surviving. Feedbacks, feedbacks, feedbacks! Oh no, there was 3 Vipers. He only feedbacked 1 or 2 of the Vipers, and I think one of them got an Abduct off first, and then the 3rd Viper came and got their Abducts off as well. Oh, that was huge. Killing 2 Colossus there, and also only 1 Storm getting down. It wasn't like the most game-changing Storm. Nice micro for MAXPAX. He's trying to come down here with a lot of Zealot Archon, but his army's already been kind of separated. The Zealot Archon tries to flank and surround, but look at that ball of Roach Hydra. There's not enough energy for Storm. They're just shy. Now he gets 75 energy, but his army's all gone. If he had another minute in this game, MAXPAX's army was going to massively outscale and destroy SERRAL's army. But right here in this period of the game, SERRAL knew he had to fight. He found the battle, and he committed incredibly hard. Beautiful play from SERRAL. Big misstep with moving for the counterattack for MAXPAX. MAXPAX just wanted to be on the aggression. He did not realize SERRAL was completely all in on 60 drones, and MAXPAX needed to turtle up there. SERRAL ties up the series with an amazing comeback. All right, game 3, SERRAL in the top right representing Basilisk, going for the 14 hatchery again. And MAXPAX is like, again? SERRAL, he knew MAXPAX was going to keep going for this. And MAXPAX is like, God damn it. Just let me block your hatchery, man. And look at that, SERRAL was going to go for a gas. Oh no, that was an extractor trick. Never mind, I'm dumb. Interestingly, this probe rallied to the gas. That was a little inefficient there for MAXPAX. Could have been mining a few more minerals. What is with this rally point, MAXPAX? What's going on with your probe management, bro? MAXPAX with some hero-level economic management at the start. Tunnel visioning on his probe, harassing the minerals, rather than actually, you know, making his workers mine at home. Not every day you see MAXPAX do that. That was kind of cute. Extract trick. Wait, what did that... Guys, SERRAL screwed his build-up. Yeah, SERRAL screwed his build-up, guys. SERRAL went spawning pool before Overlord. Oh no! SERRAL's messed his build-up, guys. Yeah, that spawning pool's way too early, right? Or does he actually go this when he goes 14 hatch and I just didn't realize? Maybe he does change the order. Let's see. Let's see if this lines up. I didn't check game 1. I'll check if he does the 14 hatch in future games. Because with a 15 hatch, normally you go Overlord, then spawning pool. Maybe this is on purpose. But you can see he can't afford the queen straight away. That's what makes this kind of awkward. That's why I'm thinking this is a slight mistake from SERRAL. I will double check. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'll definitely update you guys once we get through a few more games, assuming we'll see some more 14 hatch. It is a best of 5. Neither player can win the series just yet. Kind of unfortunate that MAXPAX was so far ahead and let that game slip away, but it was the lack of map vision. He just didn't have the context. You know, SERRAL gambled very hard. Massing Hydras in that scenario is not something you expect from SERRAL, but hey, it paid off. He made it work. Great micro, great multitasking, great splits. Kind of reminds me of SERRAL vs. Stats, GSL vs. the World 2018 on Bit. What was it called? 16-bit? Was that the name of the map, guys? 8-bit? There was a map. Something bit. And he did a 2-base roach opening and found himself way behind and just ended up doing multi-prong roach micro for like 10 minutes straight and somehow picked Stats apart and managed to win that game. And I was really impressed with it at the time because he didn't have any of the normal kind of long game advantages going for him that SERRAL normally does. Inject's going down. Creep Tumor is trying to spread as much as it can, but the Adept is there at the front. But the Twilight Council in the back. Stalker's going to come out and try and deny that Overlord. Glaives has not started just yet, and he's going to go 3 gates before Robo. So looks like this might be just a classic Glaives push across the map, and then follow up with a delayed Warp Prism and a 3rd base. He knows the Ling speed's late, so trying to force a lot of Zerglings is definitely a good idea here, but notice SERRAL's getting a lot of damage. And yeah, Queen micro very good there, really on point. Great Queen positioning for SERRAL. Alright, Glaives is on the way as well as 3 gateways. And actually MAXPAX is just going to take a 3rd base. Oh, so he's going to do a very light Adept pressure. I like this build. Old school. It's vulnerable to certain all-ins, but you're playing SERRAL. SERRAL doesn't all-in very often, so it's a pretty safe bet against him. I would never do this build against Dark, because Dark might just surround your Adepts with like 3 Ravagers, a big pack of Zerglings, kill them, counterattack, kill your 3rd. And your Robo does... The timing's always like awkward on your Robo with this build. You delay it quite a bit. I would imagine... Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to drop it sometime soon. There we go, 4 minutes 12. Lings and Baneling Nest on the way. Is SERRAL going all in? What is SERRAL? I guess he just knows there's a Twilight, so he wants to defend with Ling Bane. But he could turn this into an explosive counterattack. You don't have a lot of vision with this build. You've got to be careful. Ling Speed's about to kick in. Let's get rid of one of the Creep Tumors. This is a light pressure. You see this many Zerglings, and you just back off. There's no way you want to continue that. And can even build a shield battery to defend at home. More Lings are building for SERRAL. If SERRAL builds any more Zerglings, and he does, then we know he's all in on Ling Bane. He's going to do a giant attack. MAXPAX is building a Dark Shrine right now. Fortunately, no Warp-ins available, so he has to send 1 Adept back to defend that shield battery. These Adepts get surrounded, it's going to be bad news for him. Lots of Lings getting ready to go in for the counterattack. Shield battery will get surrounded and taken out very quickly. Ooh, MAXPAX distracted, but he does cancel his Shades. Going to try to warp in a few more Adepts, but having lost that shield battery really does weaken his next little step here of the hold. He's going to recall. Oh, but the Banelings get him before he can recall. Oh, God. Guys, remember, he's only got 3 gateways. He's lost the shield battery. The Ling Bane is going to cascade in over here and look for the surround. He's trying to build more pylons, realizing that he is vulnerable right now. MAXPAX building a sentry for the force field. But this is what I was talking about. You're vulnerable to all sorts of weird all-ins. And SERRAL seems to have read this perfectly. This is the reason why I wouldn't try this versus Dark, because Dark is prone to do this sort of crazy attack. And it's usually going to catch you off guard with only 3 gates worth of production. Oh man, this force field to the right side is going to run out. Those Banelings are going to barrel into this mineral line. Everything's trying to escape, but his own force field trapping his probes in. He's getting absolutely hammered. Oh my lord. 10 workers go down. The Dark Shrine comes in. It's a smart call trying to get the Dark Templar up, but he's not going to be able to keep the 3rd alive, and MAXPAX taking heavy, heavy losses. Now, arguably, he could have abandoned that base and actually been in an okay position, because if he kept those probes alive, like he was even on workers or even ahead until just now. Now that SERRAL started droning, SERRAL's finally using his 3rd. And if you kept your units alive and could retake that 3rd immediately and already be up in the 54, 55 worker count, maybe MAXPAX could be back in it. So obviously we knew he was getting all in. He didn't until very late. And that's such a good play for SERRAL. SERRAL really catching MAXPAX off guard and keeping him guessing. SERRAL, it's got to be the best planning out a series player in the world right now. The only time we've seen him lose really this year is, other than that series against Reigner at Home Story Cup, he He's been caught off by Solar a few times, and that's usually him just not quite being able to defend Solar's vicious timing attacks. This is the Archon Immortal 2 Zealot drop, guys. It is a very cute pressure, but it actually looks almost like an all-in because he's not building a third base. He's making more Archons, more Zealots, more Immortals. There are 14 Roaches building for SERRAL. SERRAL realizes if I just get enough Roaches, Queens, Zerglings, there's no way. Even though the Zerglings are really bad versus the Archon Zealot, the Roaches and the Queens will hold on against them. The Lings can still swarm around. He sees a third base start behind this. SERRAL is massively in the lead in this finals. Archon Zealot Immortal coming in right now. Ooh, SERRAL with a big arc of Roaches and Banes looking fantastic. The Archons want to bait those Zerglings in so they can kill them all clumped up, but he doesn't want to get surrounded. Stalker gets surrounded at the third base. The natural wall-off is actually wide open right now. The Lings could run in there, but SERRAL does force a warp in and then backs off. MAXPAX has got an elite set of units, but SERRAL's saying, okay, well, if you're not going to commit, I will make Roach speed. I'll squeeze in a few more workers. I'll get an Evo chamber to get +1 range. I'm on 3 base. You're only on 2. And I'm still going to have progression in my force. Templar Archives and a Forge trying to come in for MAXPAX. Zealot running around. At least he sees no 4th base right now, so he knows that SERRAL's only on 3 bases. But I don't know if Storm's going to really do it for you. I mean, it'll be good versus the Ling Bane defensively, but part of me feels like Disruptors might be the play, or just Colossus. How do you get enough value when you're this down on supply, though? Splash damage is definitely the way. SERRAL with some very clever builds this series. I mean, this really... It looks like SERRAL's probably going to win this game, but I can't help but think about that last game. And how, you know, this is going to give SERRAL the lead if he can finish this off, whereas he should have been down 2-1 at this point. Archon going to get taken out before it finishes warping in. That is so unfortunate for MAXPAX. Great trade for SERRAL, getting an Archon in the pack of Zealots. Sets off the barrier on the Immortal just to spite it, it almost seems. Those Zealots don't really want to lose those. SERRAL's like, value. Give me those Zealot kills. Value, please. That Zealot drop picks up on the bottom right side. +1 attacks on the way now for MAXPAX. He's going to make Psystorm, and he needs to start banking that energy like there's no tomorrow. Baneling's getting ready to roll in on the bottom side. He doesn't have melee upgrades, so he's just going to have to connect 2 at a time to take out those probes. Prism's going to dance in behind the natural expand. There's a Spore Crawler there. SERRAL's all over it. SERRAL's on 70 drones, and he is maxed out with Bane speed about to kick in. This is not a good spot to be in as MAXPAX. As SERRAL, it's go time. As SERRAL, just go. Like, he should take a 5th, build a macro hatch, and go attack more 40 Banelings and just win the game, I would imagine. There we go. It's exactly what he's got in mind. There is an Archon Immortal attack moving out. There's a few High Templar trying to gather Storm energy. Baneling's coming in. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh god, oh god, oh my god. Okay, 5 probes, not as bad as it could have been. But still, any win is a massive victory for SERRAL because he's already so in the lead. More High Templar morphing in, trying to get that Storm energy ready. The Archons, the Zealots, and the Immortals here are out in the open trying to fight against this. He's going to have to drop some Force Fields, is MAXPAX. A couple Force Fields could be nice to split this army, but I think he has to stand his ground and fight. I don't think he can pull back here. Storm energy is ready, but the Storm itself is not done because it got contaminated. What? Oh, SERRAL. This is why he couldn't storm out there when the army was chasing him all clumped up. Dude, SERRAL is the Contaminate King. He has done this so many times, blocking crucial tanks coming out and saving Maru, blocking Storm here for MAXPAX. An integral upgrade. And dude, that little used upgrade over the years of StarCraft in 2023, SERRAL has used that to absolutely destroy so many of his opponents. Oh, that is such a beautiful play. You know, Reina really started innovating with it a few years ago, blocking people from building disruptors with it when he was doing Queen Walks. But SERRAL there mixing it in so nicely, and that's got to be so frustrating for MAXPAX. He was already on the back foot. He probably would have been overwhelmed either way, but just those details in the midst of the chaos that SERRAL always remembers to do. All right, guys, looks like SERRAL once again is going for the 14 hatchery here. Now, let's pay attention to that opening. Was that a mistake last time? Or is this actually the way he does it? No, no, no. Yeah, he goes Overlord. So this is more standard the way he's done this. That's the way it's meant to be, man. So he definitely did mess up his build in that last game. Good to know. I'm not crazy. This time he goes Overlord into Spawning Pool, and you'll see him be able to start both of his queens at the exact same time. This game is kind of lagging, says Twitch. I have 0 frames dropped, and the frame rate's like pretty decent. Looks pretty good to me, but it's not perfect. We're at about 80 frames, it said right there. Maybe this map has lower performance. It is a new map pool, and I haven't tested out all the new maps. I know Altitude in the last season had pretty bad performance. So we'll see how we go. Usually there's 1 or 2 maps that aren't optimized as well as the others. I think it might have been the snow on Altitude, maybe. Now on this map, you've got obviously rich gas base up here and here. You've also got, you can mine these minerals open really easily. These rocks are only 400 rocks. These minerals also really easy to open. And you've got gold base there, gold base over here. So I really got to wonder like what the goal is here for SERRAL. Do you utilize any of these bases? It seems like the sort of map where he would just play purely defensive and try to get a 4th either on the purple gas or a 4th on the gold. But I don't think he'll take it earlier than that. Kind of a shame we haven't seen Equilibrium, because I've heard MAXPAX loves that map and actually keeps winning on it, whereas I thought that would be a really good map for Zerg versus Protoss, since you get a gold base with purple gases as well. It's a super powerful base, but apparently Protoss can take it and actually defend it versus most Zerg things, which is not what I was expecting. But that's a different map. For now, we're talking about Alcyon and Stargate coming up. Extra queens building right now. We've got 2 queens coming. A 3rd one starts up. Adept is shading in. Ooh. No real commitment to damage here from MAXPAX. This is a pretty chill opening, so I imagine he just takes a quick 3rd here. Gets 50 energy right then. Chrono Boost goes down mere seconds later. SERRAL has not really thrown any dirty tricks in here. No special factors. It's just a 4-queen, 3rd hatchery into 4-queen opening. Should have those queens ready in time. Double Adept is hitting the front, but it's a pretty slow Double Adept. He could actually commit in there and kill quite a few workers. He's going to go in and try and fight these Zerglings, but SERRAL's so good at letting the queens do their work and only threatening him when he goes towards the drones with those Zerglings. And he's going to take out at least one. You notice how SERRAL stopped moving his drones? It's because he wanted to get ready so the drone was in the open so he could easily drop a Spore Crawler without it being blocked. Queens push back that Oracle on that side as well. At the end of the day, 2 Zerglings and a drone gets both Adepts out of there. Pretty good trades for MAXPAX, whose 3rd base starts. Double gas goes down and expect a Twilight and a Forge in the main in the next 30 seconds. 7 more drones are on the way. Spore Crawler's now building. SERRAL's slightly down on workers, but only slightly. I think this is a very even opening so far. And it really comes down to can these Oracles find damage? What tech is the choice for the next step for each player? 3rd Oracle's on the way for MAXPAX as these 2 Oracles come down the left. They're not clumped up right now. If you want to pair up those shots, you do need them clumped up. 3 Queens going to push them back very easily. Could still dive that main, but watch for SERRAL to focus the weak Oracle. Manually targets. He's very, very good at always manually targeting the more damaged one. Now this Overlord sees these Adepts coming and immediately MAXPAX should just get the hell out of there. He's being spotted. Oracles dive. They managed to get 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's going to get 3 more drones. I thought it would be 4 there, but just mistargeted right at the end. Unfortunately, his Adepts, he forgot to cancel the Shade. Bit of a mistake there. 100% he meant to cancel that Shade, but he doesn't. Now he's also got Rotron Evo Chambers so he can build that emergency wall in case it is Adepts. But it's actually just a blink opening into a 6-gate. Yeah, 6-gate blink. Very standard for MAXPAX. Down 8 workers, though. SERRAL is droning very hard right now. Seeing the 3rd Oracle, he's got to feel very safe about this. He's like, yeah, you built 3 Oracles. I've seen lots of probes on your 3rd. Good. Because you really want to be up just, 5 to 10 workers on Protoss as a Zerg and then make army. And that's exactly where SERRAL's keeping it, in that sweet spot where it's not too dangerous. There's no attack that can come and kill him. Now as the Stalkers will start warping in, guess what? He'll be building Roaches in a moment. He's got his Roach Warren up. His lair's finished. I think we're just going to see Ravagerling Bane for him this time. Indeed, Roach Speed does start. And he's actually going to play Roach Hydra. Okay, so he wants to play Roach Hydra, potentially Lurkers. There's a Robo and a Forge on the way. 2 batteries building. Interesting. A little worried about a potential push is MAXPAX. SERRAL's been throwing some pretty chaotic plays out, so this might be the game to just rush Hive. Oh, he reveals the infestation bit. I don't know if MAXPAX realizes But if he does, he can actually see the hive timing for this, because you know the infestation pit, when that finishes, a hive is going to start up immediately. Second forge, starting to upgrade. I've been pretty vocal about not enjoying double forge builds that much, but MAXPAX regularly is the exception to the rule where he actually makes them look pretty good. Gonna take a fourth down here on the right side. SERRAL also expanding there. So it looks like both players expanding in the same direction right now. Gold base is looking way too exposed for either player to risk taking it. No roaches ended up getting built. Just 16 hydras on the way for SERRAL. And that hive has not started yet. Builds 9 more workers. Interesting. I wouldn't mind an Infestor or two just because he's got Blinkstalker pressure, and indeed SERRAL agrees, 2 Infestors coming out. Is he actually just going to play a Hydra Infestor? It'd be crazy if he does that just for the Infestors, doesn't even bother with the hive. This is a great way of punishing Blinkstalkers though, which normally can be an annoying unit to deal with. Overseer for SERRAL immediately scouts the Robo Bay the second it goes down. Wow, talk about scouting prowess there for SERRAL. 4th base versus 4 base. Zerg up about 7 workers. Like I said, he's in that sweet spot. Lings come in from behind, set off that first stasis trap. Oracle's going to force those Zerglings back there, but it's a fair bit of Oracle energy used up. Hydra's trying to dance with it. They actually take out 2 of those Stalkers pretty quickly. Both stasis traps set off, and he pulls back. Now, Muscular Augments is almost done. There's also 2 Infestors. Ideally, you hide these Infestors. Notice he's keeping them back. And he's actually getting ready to flank from the left. Oh, MAXPAX, watch out, MAXPAX. Watch out, blink, blink, blink. Get out of there, run, man, run. That Oracle does get taken out. Was staying a bit too long to get the stasis trap down. Good reaction. The Oracle spotting that Infestor flank was massive. And notice how patient SERRAL is, because he knows MAXPAX is trying to bait it. And the moment he sees the fungal projectile get thrown, he's going to blink. SERRAL not taking the bait just yet. He's got a hive on the way. Mass Hydraling with 2 Infestors. Dude, Colossus would be absolutely stunning here, but he does not have that Colossus deck. It's pure Gateway, and the Hydraling is very scary. No battery up on this 4th base just yet. Stalkers are really not great units versus Hydra Zergling on their own. SERRAL with an astoundingly powerful army, and the moment you clump up, those Infestors are going to ruin your day. 1 fungal goes down, trapping some of these units. The Hydra's starting to push in. Nice moves for SERRAL, but the probes are pulled. The Stalkers coming in from both sides. Zealots coming in with a bit of a surround there. 11 workers go down, but dude, that was a great fight for SERRAL. He got massive damage. The Prism does get F2'd home for MAXPAX. It goes down as well. Chunks of Warp Prism go flying. That one's sliding down the ramp. This is looking great for SERRAL right now. Looked like he should have been down 0-2 in this series. He resurrected himself, and now he's showing a very peculiar style, but it specifically works because he's countering what his opponent's doing. This is not something you can just play Hydraling Infestor every game, but he's like, hey, you're playing Blink, confirm it, yep. Keep scouting, yep. Heavy Blink into 4th base, into Zealots. Okay, your Robo Bay's on the way, but it's not ready yet. Let's go for a push before that kicks in. And he finds the perfect timing attack, and it's a reactive timing attack. It's, I spotted your Robo Bay timing, I've got both my Hydra upgrades, I've got a big army, it's go time. Before the counters come in for the Protoss. The 2-1 upgrades seem kind of nice, but their problem has always been giving you actual good value at the point where you're defending your 4 base. Defending, getting your economy up, and getting set up in that big spot. And that's what was kind of missing in this scenario, as there so often is. Zealots going down the left side, but Overlords are scouting at least there. Zealots on the right as well. Could come in for a backstab. SERRAL already transferring workers to that gold base. 87 workers. Second Evo Chamber's on the way. He's going +3 range right now, so no melee upgrades just yet for him, but I'm sure he'll start those in a moment. Lurker Den is about to finish, and with the Vipers gathering energy, the Lurker upgrades will be starting up momentarily. Even Roach Speed coming in, just in case he feels he needs something to buffer against the Colossus. Oh, watch out for the ball. Great last second spread. He took 3 Hydras out, but could have been worse. This is not a big army. Oh, MAXPAX blinks forward, gets Viper number 1, gets Viper number 2, but Viper number 3 confirms the abduct. Nicely done. Zealots come in from behind, only able to get 2 drones before SERRAL cleans it. SERRAL cleaning house right now. Hydra's pulling back on the right side. On the left, the Hydra's having to stutter step away from these Zealots. Their damage output is so good. It's kind of like fighting Zealots with Marines. If you're outnumbered, it can feel really bad, but when you've got the critical mass, you stutter step away and you gun the Zealots down before they can really do that much. These Hydras looking fantastic right now. Roaches on the way behind it. Adrenal Glands coming in. Seismic Spines as well. The Colossus coming south. The Hydras are pulling back. All right, Overlord did drop creep there to block MAXPAX from taking a new base. MAXPAX supply is actually really still good. I thought SERRAL was going to just kill him, but SERRAL can't really kill him right now. He's trying to go lurkers. Uh-oh, Viper's coming forward. Oh, God. Oh, look out. The abduct on the Disruptor. Nicely done. And that Colossus looks like it's going to get taken out. Maybe the Stalker's defending it, but it goes down. Nice stutter step forward there for SERRAL, catching those units out. The Stalker's getting overrun. Mass Zealot from the left coming in for a big old flank here. Getting a decent angle on those Hydras. Hydras trying to get out of dodge. Good pullbacks. I like that. Waiting for charge to be ready again. And he wants to wait for SERRAL to overcommit before he goes forward. There's 2 Robos right now. 1 Disruptor is building. He's going to need a lot more Disruptors if he wants to defend this. Lurkers are here on the doorstep. The Zealot's going to go for a bit of a counterattack. Trying to fight elsewhere usually is where Zealots excel, not in those frontal engagements. They're very good using their mobility to backstab, and that's exactly what they're going to try to do. Stalker Colossus do take out 1 Lurker. More Lurkers are here, but they do have the range upgrade and Adaptive Talons, both. Zealots cleaning up Zerglings on the backside, getting in on the worker line on that base as well. There's no Disruptors out over here, though. Only 1 on the map, and only 1 building right now. This is a problem for MAXPAX. He's got both Robos control grouped, but he's using them to build Observers right now. He's worried about missing that vision. The Zealot run by bought some time, but is it enough? You're both on a similar economy, and the Zerg is rallying to the front. He's on your doorstep. Yes, you've got a 5th base on the way, but it's not there just yet. Disruptors are trying to get out, but look at that. Every time the Stalkers go in range, it's a big problem. That Disruptor shot whiffs. That gives SERRAL some confidence. He's going to start inching in range. Zealots, unfortunately, fighting in one of the worst places for them. Stuck behind each other as those roaches start to clean up. Disruptors coming forward. Going to throw another shot, but look at this. He's just dodging the Disruptor shots every time they come out. The Viper's here. Abducts one of the Disruptors down. The Viper does get picked off, but so many Stalkers go down to the Lurker spines. On the left, Zealots will clean up the roaches. Zealot run by over there as well. MAXPAX has fantastic multitasking as always, but SERRAL just did so well at defending his aggression, going pure Hydra, going up with the Infestors. It felt like SERRAL has been walking a tightrope through the early and mid game to get up perfect armies and beautiful timing attacks against MAXPAX. MAXPAX unable to hang on, and it seems like an unfortunate turnaround after being in such a good position at the start of this series. But that's what SERRAL does. He doesn't go down easy. Finally, some Disruptor shots starting to land, but he's already in range of the mineral line. MAXPAX is getting worn down. Roaches, Hydras, Lings spread everywhere. Disruptors getting hit as they spawn. Zealot run-by is running into a massive units coming across the map. Ultra Cavern and Aspire on the way for the Ultra Corruptor swap. And of course, 1-2 melee upgrades seem okay, but look at the Protoss upgrades. 3-2, actually very good upgrades. Just didn't matter. SERRAL never put him in a position where the upgrades actually mattered. Really clean series from SERRAL. I gotta say, guys, if anyone's ready for this patch, with the variety he was playing pre-patch, we're seeing at SERRAL. His flexibility as a player is next level, and he seems like, honestly, the best forefront running Zerg when it comes to leading the change-ups that you may need to be making on this new patch. SERRAL is looking so sick.